I'm 32 years old. If I could go back in time and talk to my 22-year-old self, this is exactly what I would tell him to get rich the fastest way. Number one, without a vision, people perish. And essentially what that means that if you do not know where you want to go, you will be lost. You will be in limbo. I highly recommend to do this exercise. It's called Alchemy of Self, or it's the other self. It's creating the version of you that you want to be in 5 to 10 years. Now at face level, it sounds stupid, but when you can describe the body you have, the work that you're doing, the person that you're married to, if that's your desire, if you can write on paper, clearly articulate what you want and what you want for yourself and describe this future life for yourself, you start creating a clear vision of what your North Star is, and it allows you to create a roadmap between where you are and where you want to be. And this roadmap allows you to get there quickly. Many of us say many things, but really never truly desire them. Google Alchemy of Self by Sam Ovens and do that exact exercise. And I've sat in rooms with multi-millionaires and they've all done this exercise, which is a massive secret. Their biggest regret when they've done this exercise is that everything came true. Their regret is that they didn't dream harder. Number two, these are the books, Mike, I want you to read. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. This will allow you to understand how the world works and for you not to be distracted. Number two, Atomic Habits. Understanding what allows us to tick, what decisions we need to make, and how to pair things so that we can be efficient with our time. Number three, Start with Why by Simon Sinek. This will really allow you to understand what is your core driver and motivator. And whenever you face a road bump, reading this book will really allow you to come over them. $100 Million Offer by Alex Hormozi. This will allow you to be able to create a business plan and know how to offer it to the market if you have value to provide. Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. This will really allow you to really manage your time well and know where to focus your time, because if there's one thing all of us as humans have is time. The big difference is many waste it, you need to learn how to wield it. And then finally, Relentless by Tim Grover. This really shows you that to be able to become a unique individual, you need to be able to overcome unique things, and that requires you to be relentless. Number three, never work a day in your life. Find what you love doing. In high school, I remember seeing kids always beat me with their grades, and it frustrated me. I was like, don't you do anything else? But in hindsight, I realized the kids who would always beat me with grades is that they really love studying and they love those topics. And it never felt like studying or work for them. They just loved doing it. So when you love doing what you do, it doesn't feel like work, and you're just going to pour so much more time into that particular aspect. So use your young years, use your early age to really discover what it is you love doing. Find a way to do that as your source of income, and you will never work a day in your life, and you will beat everybody because you just love it so much more compared to them. Number four, closed mouths don't get fed. Ask for help. I've never told this story, but when I was studying pre-med, in my first year adapting to being a student, I failed physics. And the reason was because I was too prideful to ask for help. I wasn't going to the extra classes or doing the classes that they were offering over the weekends. Long story short, I redid physics and I crushed it. And I realized that everybody out there, somebody has the information you're looking for. So if you ask for help, you're going to find the answers you're looking for. If it's to study for an exam or to be able to get into shape, ask for help. Smart people ask questions. Number five, learn to listen. And I mean really listen, not to listen where you're just waiting to say something back, where you're listening empathetically. You're switching from your perspective to their perception, living in their shoes. And this skill of listening really allows you to understand a human's emotions and essentially develop EQ, emotional intelligence. And if you can understand and listen to people clearly, you'll always be able to find the solution to their problems. Listen to the words they say, the tone of their voice, their facial expressions. All the answers lie in the things they say. Number six, time doesn't heal anything. It just teaches you to live in pain. Pain essentially is all the experiences we have that allow you to become the person that you are today. And the quicker you embrace pain and understand that this pain is there for your good, it's not happening at you, it's happening for you, it really allows you to navigate through the pain much quicker. So if you're going through anything challenging, take it with an open heart, accept it, learn from it, move on. because time isn't going to heal anything. It only teaches you. The faster you learn, the faster you can grow. Number 7, don't let God find you. You should find God. What I mean is this. When I was in high school, my teachers did not like me because I didn't listen to them actively. And what I really learned about them as missionaries, they really went through traumatic experiences that forced them to find God. Although I didn't listen in high school, I eventually ended up listening to them in the future when I was a bit more mature. If you find God, it will help you understand how to navigate the world a lot quicker. And whenever something difficult or traumatic happens to you, you'll already have the tools to be able to overcome that, because you will need a spiritual guide. And that God can be Allah, it can be any God, whatever you believe in. But you should find it first so that you're armed when the moment arises that you need him, versus only searching for him after when you're already living in the pain. So don't let God find you through a traumatic experience, because sometimes he will make you listen. It's better to find him first so you can avoid him having to take you through a very difficult moment. Number 8, invest in yourself first and always. What I mean by this is that you may make some money, and what you should do, what's going to give you the highest return on investment is you. If you put your money into real estate or into stocks, that is always going to be dependent on other factors or other people. But when you take that money and invest it in you, you're only dependent on yourself. So at base level, invest in a coach if you're fat. On a base level, if you want to learn how to make money, invest in a coach who will teach you how to make money in whichever way, and doing so ethically. The best return on investment you will ever get is taking whatever money you have and putting it in yourself. And this is through education. At base level, we were doing this years ago by going to university. Today is find people online that you have done due diligence, that you trust, and that you feel, and that has the things you desire. Pay them to teach you what they know so that you can get what they have. Number 9, master the body. To be able to really master your mind or your spirituality, you need to master the body first. This is the easiest thing to do. But when you master the body, it will teach you consistency, it will teach you discipline, and it will teach you precision. All these factors are required when you want to be able to master a mind and when you want to be able to master the spiritual sense. Get in shape first. Once you're able to do that, you can take the same learnings and apply it to everything else. And yes, there are many people who have mastered the mind and their spiritual sense already, but when they mastered their body, it gave them this 10x boost. So mastering the body first is the first task. If you're fat or if you're not in the shape you desire, fix that first, and all the other things you desire in your life will come. The partner, the business, the money, all of that. Master your body. Number 10, this is the body's cheat code. It is a high protein diet, 30 to 50 grams per meal, multiplied by a caloric deficit plus weightlifting. Do this consistently and you will see change in your body. Number 11, become a king of consistency. Stack small wins. Everything in life, from earning more money to being in shape to becoming the best version of yourself, requires consistency. It doesn't mean doing extremely difficult things every day, but stacking small wins. If that is hitting a step count every day, or if that is really making one Instagram post today, really become a king of consistency. Be the man that says, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it each and every single day, and I'll do it consistently. The skill of consistency is going to be the source to every formula, to every recipe that ever produces success. Number 12, wake up early, go to sleep early. When you wake up early, you wake up away from all distractions. It allows you to get so much more work done because the world is asleep. And essentially, when you're going to bed at night, you have no more productivity or energy left to really do anything productive. So go to sleep early. Doing these two functions will allow you to make the best out of the time you have on this earth. It's not about the 24 hours alone. It's about the quality of those 24 hours, the quality of your morning, the quality of your afternoon, and the quality of your evening. Usually things will taper off because we're human beings, our batteries do come to an end. So rather, getting to sleep early will allow you to really recharge and tackle your problem. I had this issue where I'd decide to study overnight and really have this hustle mentality, but really I was just shooting myself in the foot. Wake up early, go to sleep early. Number 13, always be a student. One thing I've learned, and I've had a conversation with a billionaire, and that is Ben Francis. And of course, there's so much I can learn from him, but what I've learned about billionaires is that they tend to ask you questions more. And why is that? Because essentially they have nothing to gain from you because they have everything they want, especially monetarily. The only thing you can provide them is information or a perspective that they don't have. So why won't you do the same? Always be a student. Be open to learning from everybody and everyone, and you're more likely to receive a gift from being a student if you always develop that mindset and putting your ego to the side. Number 14, don't ask permission, ask forgiveness. I learned this very early on. Why asking for forgiveness is better than permission is that many times as a man and a woman, it's better to just get it done and just do it. And if you make a mistake, then just say sorry at the end. And just doing this enough over time will stop you from hesitation or stop you from seeking validation or seeking permission. Rather, just make a mistake and say, I'm sorry for it, be genuine, learn from the mistake and move forward. This removal of hesitation through this saying is extremely powerful for you to really reach your destination. Think of it as you're removing the limiter from your Bugatti to really be able to go as fast as you can. Do not ask permission, ask forgiveness. Number 15, raise your standards. As human beings, we do not raise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our standards. And a standard is a lot better to be able to control because a goal is a far distance. It's something in the far end that you hope and wish for. But raising a standard is something that you have control over directly. Example, if your goal is to hit 20,000 steps, but you're right now at 5,000, you might struggle to really figure out how do I get to 20,000. But if you say, okay, I'm gonna raise my standard and go from 5,000 to 6,000, that is a much easier stepping stone to reach that destination. If we think of the most competitive athlete of all time, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan demanded more of himself than anyone ever could. And as a byproduct, because he kept on raising a standard, no one could compete with him. He wasn't competing against all the other athletes. He wasn't competing against Larry Bird. He was competing against himself. And in this world, you're essentially competing against yourself. You're your own worst enemy. And the best way to develop your skill set is to raise your standard. If you're getting a B grade, raise the standard to a B plus. Not saying, hey, I want to get an A plus. Just keep on raising the standard and consistently improve. And this stepping stone that you create for yourself, this habit of raising your standards, will allow you to finally reach your North Star, which is your ultimate goal. Demand more of yourself than anyone could and demand it consistently. Number 16, change your environment and change it often. When I was a student, I had 3 to 4 roommates and they would make my life extremely difficult, from keeping the apartment dirty. Sometimes they were doing things in the room that we don't even want to talk about. But when you change your environment, it allows it to be the invisible hand that shapes your behavior. The food environment, the things that you have around yourself. Do you have PlayStation and TVs that distract you? Do you live next to a club? And setting your environment in a sense that will allow you to set yourself up for success will allow you to really have an easy path to your final destination. Think of your environment as the guardrails to your final destination. What if I told you, move in with 5 millionaires instead and spend that entire time with them? What is the likelihood of you becoming a millionaire? Very high compared to living with 5 students. So change your environment. Even if it's a nice apartment, and this is the advice that one of my mentors gave me. He's like, Mike, live in a place that when you wake up, you say, this is sick. I can't believe I live here. It will have you so motivated and you will execute your tasks with so much more vigor compared to anybody else. Your environment is everything. Upgrade the apartment you're staying at as long as it's 30% of the total income that you make, and upgrade it often. Number 17, embrace failure. You will learn so much more from failure compared to success. Failure is the best teacher that you could ever ask for. It is honest, it's painful, but you will learn quickly. So embrace it. Understand every failure that you go through is actually going to be the stepping stone as long as you keep putting one foot in front of the other. Number 18, my cup runneth over. This is a message of abundance. When you put yourself in a position where you know you have more, you know that there's something else out there for you, it puts you in a position that allows you to negotiate. For example, if you break up with somebody, That's fine. There's going to be someone out there that's better for you. If you fail, that's fine. You will have another opportunity to do it again. I've had people quit on me, and in the end, I've understood my cup runneth over. I've allowed God to introduce the right people for me in those positions. And it always allowed me to really say, hey, something else, something better is going to come. And when you're in that position, it'll make sure that you maintain your standard. You don't decrease your standard because you're abundant. Number 19, the grandfather frame. Too many of us care what people think, but when you realize that it really doesn't matter. When you're a grandfather in the future, you're not even going to remember the moment or even remember the way you felt, and it's going to be irrelevant. And when you consistently start thinking and overthinking about, should I really do this? What will people think? Put yourself in the grandfather frame. Ask yourself, hey, you're 80 years old. Think that you're 80 years old from today. Will this really matter? Will people really remember it? And the honest truth is no. So the grandfather frame will really allow you to remove this hesitation or this self-doubt. Implementing the grandfather frame will really allow you to quickly become you and not be fearful of what others think. Because when you're a grandfather, those same people may not even be your friends or even be alive anymore, and no one may even remember them. One day, no one will even remember you. So do the things you're doing in the moment really matter? Number 20, work-life balance is a lie. Find work you love so much that it does not feel like work. All the people that I've ever really met never had anything as work-life balance. To do and to receive extraordinary things, you need to take extraordinary measures. Think of every successful person you have ever thought of or that you look up to and ask them if they had work-life balance to achieve what they achieved. And the answer is no. From an athlete to a business owner to a philosopher, they did not have work-life balance because they poured themselves into what they were super passionate about. And that is how we as humans have evolved. People find what they're extremely passionate about. They make it their life's work and they are relentless about it. I truly believe the term work-life balance was created for individuals who wanted to feel okay for not working as hard as they really should. Number 21, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Maybe not making your bed seems inconsequential, or washing the dishes, or making sure that you put things back. But all these behaviors will really seep into all the other things where it really does matter. Texting the client back or telling someone that, hey, my word is my bond and I'll do what I'll do. So make sure all these little things that you're doing that you know should be better, do them right, because it is really going to seep into all your other behaviors. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So do it right the first time. Number 22, your partner is your life co-founder. I went through many relationships and really was my motivation to get into shape. But over time, as I really fell in love with my goals and my desires, I really started to see how the partner I was with wasn't going to be the right fit or the person I knew that would need to be by my side to make the decision. Before I met my wife, my partner before really wanted to go to the clubs, really wanted to travel, wanted to have fun, wanted to live life. And in reality, the time I spent with her was really a year lost or a year gained because I learned in that moment everything that I did not want in a relationship. In complete opposite, my wife really believed in the dreams that I had. And since our marriage, that has been our primary focus and all we talk about and all we spend our time with. If you have a partner that is pulling you away from all your life desires, this is really going to be the direction you're being pulled in. So you need to think of the partner that you're getting married to. They need to be an addition to your life, not a subtraction. Number 23, only take advice from people who are in places where you want to be. Very often you'll sit with your friends and they'll give you advice, but it's really advice that they'll never take or advice that they've never applied. Rather, listen to someone who has the things and who have done the things that you want to do. They already know what is required to reach the destination you want to reach. That information is always going to be 100 times more accurate compared to the person who has never done it before. And even that person may not even know what will work and what will not. Number 24, watch your mouth. The things we say will really dictate the way we feel. The way we feel will really dictate the actions we have, and the actions we have will really dictate the results we have. If you're an individual and if you're speaking down on yourself, you're always going to feel down. If you speak up and you motivate yourself and you say positive words, you're going to feel that way as well. Now, this isn't to get woo-woo, but too many of us speak negative words against ourselves. I'm not really good at math. I'm not really good at script writing. I'm not really good at editing. If I were to make 2 copies of yourself, one said, I am amazing at editing. One said, I'm not the best at editing, but I'm going to be. And the other one said, I'm not amazing at editing. Who's more likely to be successful? The words you say are extremely powerful because the words that mean the most are your own, not somebody else's. So watch the words you use because they can really dictate how you move through this world. Do not speak negatively over yourself. Number 25, learn to market, learn to sell, learn to fulfill. Every business has these 3 aspects: marketing, selling, fulfillment. With marketing, that skill is learning how to storytell. People don't buy a product, they buy a story. People didn't buy the Apple iPhone in the beginning because of what the technology was. They bought it because of the message it sent, breaking the status quo or doing things differently, and people wanted to support that vision. Learn to tell an amazing story. The next thing is learn to sell. Selling isn't just saying, hey, give me $1 and I'll give you this item. Selling is understanding what a person's desires are and how your product can fulfill those desires. And then finally, learn how to fulfill. If you ever have a business, really create the best product possible. A product so good that people feel stupid saying no, and a product so good that when they have it, they can't imagine their life without it. Number 26, be your own hero. When we grow up, we always are looking to our parents. We're always looking to somebody who's older to really save us and help us. And it's very normal for us to be really stuck in this pattern. But once you get into your 20s, you realize that no one is really here to save you. And it's much better to become your own hero. Be the person who says, I am going to be the one to fix this. I'm going to be the one to get myself out of this. And if you just think that way, you're more likely to produce actions and make decisions allowing you to be a hero rather than wasting time and waiting for somebody. You're much more likely to become the person and the hero you want to be by overcoming those challenges. Number 27, not wanting something is as good as having it. When people desire things too much, it typically clouds the things required for them to be able to achieve those things. But when you don't want it, when you're like, it's nice to have, it allows you to really have clarity on what's required to achieve those things. So a trend that I see is when you're not thirsty. Actually, this is a great analogy. When there's a girl, and you always notice the girl will always go to the guy that isn't thirsty for her or is just chilling and being relaxed. He likes her, but he makes sure that she knows he really doesn't care. Ultimately, that individual is likely to attract that girl. And the same applies to everything. Not wanting money is as good as having it. You will see in business that it becomes much more easier to attract money because of your intent. And that is the big difference, is intent. And intent can be the difference between someone who's amazing at persuading and someone who wants to manipulate. We as humans are really good at detecting bullshit and manipulation. So learning not to want, it is as good as having it. Number 28, be self-aware. As a person, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, but take a step back, maybe go out of body and look at yourself from a third perspective and think about your actions. And this skill of self-awareness, looking at yourself from a third perspective, can really allow you to see the mistakes you make, fix them quickly, and move forward. In some cases, when I'm talking to my team, sometimes I may realize that a comment I made is not appropriate, or a comment I made is a bit too harsh, and it's important to learn from those things rather than just continuing. As human beings, we're all going to make mistakes. It's part of life. You make mistakes, I make mistakes, everyone does. But if you're self-aware, it really allows you to quickly fix all the mistakes you've made and then become even better. Number 29, don't think. Don't let the mind get in the way of distraction. What I've really seen is the more you rely on your instinct, and I would even do this in uni when I was studying, I would just write the answer that felt the most natural versus overthinking it. And when you don't think, it allows you to have a much quicker connection to your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind can be a lot more powerful than the conscious one. It allows you to really gravitate towards information. So as you practice a sport, as you study, as you make this video as I'm doing right now, don't think and just express yourself the best way you can. And you're very likely to consistently develop a habit of finding the right words and the right things to say and the right actions to take. Number 30, avoid distractions. In your highway to success, you're going to have many distractions. You're going to have people distractions where people want you to go out, you want to meet people. You're going to have idea distractions. Crypto is going to happen. Creating a second business. Maybe you buy a PlayStation, or maybe you get an extra TV or a new Netflix series. All of those things essentially function as speed bumps to your final destination. Now, of course, I don't say that you should have zero distractions, but avoid them as much as you can. The common trend I see with a lot of successful people is successful people say no. I've even had extremely successful friends saying, hey, I'm coming to Dubai, let's hang out. And they'll say, no, I'm busy now, I have things to work on. So avoid distractions as much as possible. Number 31, be empathetic. Understand a person's emotions, understand the way they're thinking and they're feeling. Empathy is the foundation of being able to really look at a person's perspective, understand what their desires are, and to find a solution to fulfill those desires. What's really helped me in my career is all the issues my clients deal with. I've been in their shoes, or I've been as empathetic as I can be to really figure out what it is they require. Sometimes my clients don't need the science behind what is going on with their fat loss, but they need me to understand the challenges that they're facing as a person, maybe traumas that they've had as a person and how to overcome those things. So be empathetic, listen with emotion, listen with intent, look at their facial expression, look at the way that they're saying things. Being empathetic will allow you to be an amazing business individual because you'll really start finding solutions to people's problems. Number 32, very obvious, but the most important one. You never fail as long as you never give up. There will be many moments where you'll fail and you'll feel like it's over, but it really isn't. It's only over once you've decided it's over. So if you fail an exam, if you fail at a business idea, if you fail at running ads, or if you fail on your YouTube channel, or you make a mistake, don't give up. Just try again. And you are the dictator and you are the master of your universe. You decide if you continue moving forward. You decide if you want to move backwards, but ultimately, you just need to put one foot in front of the other. See you in the next video. Cheers.